Erwin Rommel and the Africa Korps. Erwin Rommel. Erwin Johannes Eugen Rommel was born in 1891 in Germany and he has died in 1944 in Germany too. He was a brilliant German military commander as well as popular tactical instructor. He has fought a plethora of battles in both World War I and World War II. In 1910, he joined the German army in the 124th Infantry Regiment as officer cadet. He was first commissioned in 1912. One of his first battles were in France, World War I. He was heavily wounded in 1914. Later, as he captured 9,000 troops in Italy and secured multiple hostile heavy machine guns, he was promoted to captain. As an excellent leader and captain, he was awarded the Pour la Mérite, partially because of the demolition of Italian forces that had many times the size of his own regiment. Subsequent of fighting in World War I, he was deployed to Dresden in 1921. 4 years later, in 1925, he wrote Infantry Attacks, a detailed textbook about infantry tactics. In 1938, Rommel briefly taught as tactical instructor at the Dresden Infantry School and later got in charge of Adolf Hitler's personal army security detachment. In 1940, he was deployed back to the front and led the 7th Panzer Division in the famous invasion of France. Promoted to General Lieutenant in 1941, he got the command of the German forces in Libya, the well-known Africa Korps. Because of his daring, driven, and relentless leadership, Erwin Rommel has earned the sobriquet Desert Fox. Rommel was elected to Field Marshal, a high rank, in 1942. Because they were denied crucial resources by hostile attacks, the Africa Corps were eventually defeated in very late 1942 at the Battle of El Alamein. However, Rommel organized a brilliant tactical retreat that only left the German Africa Corps with very little casualties. After returning to Germany again, mostly because of health reasons, he was assigned as commander of the Army Group B, stationed in North Italy. In late 1943, he became the Inspector General of the Coastal Defense of France, which means that he was not there himself at first and mainly functioned as tactician. Said beach defense is also widely known as the so-called Atlantic Wall. Germany expected France to attempt to reoccupy their lands that Germany had taken in previous battles. The Atlantic Wall was a sort of hurdle for the French troops and was meant to completely eliminate the attacking French troops that would dare to fight. In early 1944, Rommel became head of Army Group B as Germany was expecting France to execute their attempt of back invading their land soon. This promotion meant that Rommel would now be at the coastal defense. The Army Group B's Atlantic Wall was at the beach area, but then faded into cliffs and higher hills, where they would continue to block the beach as seen in the picture at the bottom. Rommel guessed that the troops of the Allied forces would deploy in the shallow waters from amphibious vehicles. Hitler envisioned a barrier at the back of the shoreline and German mobile forces would destroy the Allies once they were continuously advancing at the middle of the beach and further on. Furthermore, he openly disliked Hitler's idea because he knew that Germany could not overthrow the Allied supreme air and naval forces, and when the Allies were unloaded and already at the beach, they would be prepared better and ready to fight the German forces back. Due to Rommel's experiences in Africa, Rommel wanted to instead eliminate the Allied troops while they unloaded, as that would be their weakest point. Rommel tried securing more panzer divisions and artilleries in an attempt to improve the Atlantic Wall. He even designed obstacles to be scattered around the beach. Because of their similarity, these obstacles were called asparagus. Rommel's speech hurdles were well meant, said Gerrit von Rundstedt, but it was not a success, because the sea often turned them around or simply rolled them away before they had a chance to become effective. Although Erwin Rommel was an excellent German commander, he was not a fanatic Nazi. Even in direct meetings with Adolf Hitler, he was not afraid to show criticism towards Hitler's ideas and guidelines. In a personal meeting, he even questioned Hitler about why he thought that Germany could win the war. In 1944, Rommel was approached with a plot to assassinate Hitler. He did not will in to help them, but he also failed to inform authorities about the planned assassination. As the plot failed, Hitler thought Rommel had something to do with the planning of the plot. However, because Rommel was a war hero, Hitler couldn't straight up kill Rommel or execute him. He gave Rommel a choice: either he went into a trial for treason or suicide. Rommel died October 14th, 1944. The Africa Korps. The Africa Korps were formed 11th January in 1941 by Hitler's command. The Africa Korps was the German main expeditionary force in Africa during the North African campaign of World War II. Rommel was picked as their leader in very early 1941. Operation Sonnenblume was the code name of the deployment of German troops to North Africa itself. The German Corps' first units started to arrive around the 13th of February 1941. In their first main deployment, they were sent to aid Italy's army troops that were routed in place by the British forces, acting as a blocking force. The Africa Korps originally were pretty small, as they only consisted of the 5th Light Panzer Regiment and various smaller supporting troops. The Africa Korps mostly fought in rocky desert plains of North Africa. A lot of battles have been in today's Libya, which before was Cyrenaica. They had many objectives and smaller campaigns. For example, on April 1941, the Africa Corps repetitively attempted to capture Tobruk, which was fought back by the Australians. The Africa Corps also have been pushed back multiple times, as in May 1941, the British Army launched Operation Brevity against the Africa Corps. This allowed the British Army to take several African countries and lands back. However, only one day after that, the Africa Corps introduced a counterattack that let them take 2 out of 3 key locations. Subsequently, the Africa Corps leader Erwin Rommel was ordered to leave Tobruk and to reposition the Africa Corps near the Egyptian border. In June 1941, the Africa Corps mainly prevented the British from releasing Tobruk and advancing onwards by fierce counterattacks. Later, the Africa Corps were finding themselves engaged upon by the British Army in the Operation Battle Axe. However, the Africa Corps managed to successfully fight back the attack, and the British found themselves with 1,000 normal casualties and 91 lost tanks. However, Germany only lost a mere 12 tanks and fewer normal casualties. In late 1942, many objectives pointed towards a battle around El Alamein. The Africa Corps, as one of the main fighting forces around El Alamein, are however reduced to only a few 40 left tanks and an even fewer amount of completely intact tanks. Rommel proposed a tactical withdrawal, as they were outnumbered and had no realistic way of contesting in the Battle of El Alamein. Hitler denied the proposal and ordered the Africa troops to hold position and fight. At the 12th May of 1943, all Italian and German forces in Africa have surrendered at last. There have been made 130,000 German prisoners as well as 120,000 Italian prisoners. General von Armin, a German general, and many other Axis generals have been captured, ending the life of the successful Africa Korps.